Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Chunky here. I hope you guys are all doing well. I have another story time slash chapter from my childhood video. I wanted to bring this to you guys today just because I know on my last one that I did of this segment, you guys were like, what happened after that? You guys wanted to know. So I'm gonna kind of leave off where I left off in my other video, and if you guys have seen my other video, then you know what's up. If you haven't seen my other video, I will leave the description down below, the link of the previous video I've done. I've done a couple of videos on like my situation with my biological mother, my biological father, some things that I went through and things like that. So if you guys want to see any of those other videos, I'll link them all down below, and you could go ahead and catch up on them and then come back here and watch this one. Or you could watch this one first and then go back and watch the other ones, and then everything will make sense. If it doesn't make sense already, then I have a lot more to come. Before I get started on this this kind of like chapter from my childhood, this story from my childhood, I just want to make a disclaimer before I get started. I just want to let you guys know, I am way past everything that happened in my childhood. I have moved on. I have children. I feel like I'm succeeding in life, and thank God I was never a drug addict. I've never done, I can't say I've never done drugs because I experienced when I was younger. I've experienced stuff, but never to the point where it was, like way before when I was a teenager. Teenagers experiment. I always keep it real on my channel. I always keep it honest. I've never was a drug addict. I never was alcoholic. I stay at home with my children. Other than staying at home with my children, I do this. I feel like I'm a great mother. I feel like I'm doing the best I can as a mother. I don't go out. I don't party pretty much at all. I'm barely starting to get out there. But I just want to put a disclaimer out there for you guys. Some people might, I've done this video before and I got a lot of messages saying, oh, just forgive and forget, or just move on, you'll be okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. This is not a story time for you guys to feel sorry for me. This is not a story time to get pity from anybody. This is not a story time because I'm dwelling on what happened to me when I was younger. This is basically just a story to get out there for you guys. Some people can find it entertaining to listen to other people's stories, just like reading a book. So that's another reason why I tell my story. Some people are probably watching this and may not know things that happen in other people's lives. They may never have experienced what other people might experience or what I experienced, and they kind of want to understand what else is out there in the world. Maybe they might want to know. If you guys hear any noises in the background, it's my cat. So, and then some people just, find it entertaining, and some people that they might be going through it, and some people might have went through the same experience I went through or something similar and can relate to me and or going through it, and I might be able to help somebody out there. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to get back at anybody or because I'm dwelling on anything. It's just purely for the reasons that I told you, okay? So with that being said, I just gotta make a few disclaimers because it is a touchy subject, because this is real. These are real stories, and these are real people that are in them. Of course, I won't be saying any names, so it's totally legal. It happened to me, and that's it. So I'm telling my story. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into it. So where I left off in my other video was my cat, behave. So where I left off in my other video was they took me away from my mother when I was 10 years old because she basically beat me up. I was 10 years old. I was in middle school. I left off saying that when they took me away from my mother, I had myself, I was fed up with the way my mother was treating me, with the way my life was going, and the way she was handling things in my life. And so I just wanted it to end, and I wanted it all to end, and I wanted to go with the woman that raised me. So if you guys are new, listening to this newly, and you haven't listened to my other stories, there was my aunt that I call my mother. So I'm also going to be calling her like the woman that raised me. I am speaking of the woman that raised me off and on in my life. She was my safe haven. She was the mother that, she was the woman. She acted as like a mother. She was my mother. She was like a woman. She was something that, how my mom should have been, but my mom was not doing that because she was not right in her head. So I wanted to just go home. Like, that was my home. I was there all the time for years. And, you know, up until the time that my biological mother got pregnant again, that's when she decided to take me away from the woman that raised me and put me back in, you know, put me back in her house and have me there all the time to help her with the baby and help her with like household things and stuff like that. Which was, it's like, now that I think about it, it's like, if my biological mother would have been real with me and talked to me and would have been like, Mija, like, you're my daughter. I do get emotional, real quick. I do get emotional with these videos. It's not because I'm dwelling on it. It's just that I go back into the emotions that I felt in that period, and I'm just like a very emotional person. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna be sad for the rest of the day. Like, I'm sad in this moment, but I'll be okay. So just to let you guys know. So oh my god, this cat. Okay, I had to try to put the cat away. So if my biological mother would have been real with me and just would have set me down and talked to me and been like, Mija, I love you. I need your help as a, you know, even though I'm only 10 years old, like, I need your help. I'm pregnant. Can you help me with your little brother? I would greatly appreciate it, you know? And I would have been like, I think I would have been happier if she would have kind of understand where I came from. I think if she kind of would have understood that I was young and I didn't really comprehend a lot of things and comprehend what was going on, and, you know, taking me out of a place that I was safe and trying to make me cope with, first of all, living with a woman that I wasn't used to having as my mother. And then also not only like trying to get used to this place of living with my biological mother, but then getting used to being told what to do all the time. Like, not being told what to do, but being like, kind of like, make the baby a bottle, make, you know, feed the baby, change the baby's pamper, make something to eat. Like, I'm hungry, I haven't eaten, I was taking care of the baby all night, make us something to eat. Vacuum, iron your dad's clothes, you know, to constantly being doing things like that I wasn't used to. So it was just hard for me to adjust. That's the word. It was hard for me to adjust to going from being with the woman that raised me, the woman that I was with all the time, and used to kind of, you know, the woman that raised me, all she wanted to do was for me to focus on school, because I was, you know, kind of lacking in school, and I was kind of like kind of going back in school. So she wanted me to just focus in school. So I remember, you know, her just like making sure that I read and making sure that I did my homework and making sure that I was kind of like succeeding in school rather than like, you know, cleaning and stuff like that. Of course, she taught me how to like clean, and I would wash dishes, and she taught me how to put my clothes in the washer and wash them, and she taught me, you know, I would clean my own rooms because I had my own room there. I would clean my own room. You know, I did things that, you know, a 10-year-old should start learning how to do. But then, you know, going from this to from a woman teaching me, you know, and kind of like molding me into a good woman, to a woman that was like kind of like bossing me around, kind of like. And it's crazy because they would joke, like it was a joke to where they would be like, oh, they would say my name is like Cinderella, like she's like Cinderella, and you know, things like that. Like it would be a joke. It would be a joke in when I was there. Like I was like Cinderella, and I basically, you know, my mom would be do this and do that and do this and do that and clean it and pick up that and like, and I was just like, okay, you know, like if people are laughing about it, then I guess, you know, I could have a sense of humor about it. But like in my heart, I knew like sometimes I just needed a break. And I remember feeling like that, like sometimes I just needed a break from life. I would get very overwhelmed and shit. So I would just like, okay, I had to gather myself there. I don't know. I was getting like really emotional. Okay, so I remember, you know, sometimes I just needed a break. Just to kind of like put you guys into, you know, kind of get you guys into the scenario of what I was going through. Finally, it came to a head and I got taken away. And of course, my biological mother did not let my aunt take me, because my aunt was first to come. My aunt was first to come and get me. And my biological mother, they made it a point not to let me go with my aunt. And I don't know what she told them. I think she told them that, well, the woman that raised me, I think that she told, I don't like to call her aunt because she's like more than an aunt. She's my mom. She's my other mother. So she made it a point to tell them these like horrible things. And I don't know, like, I still to this day don't understand how people believe her. Like, it's just so crazy. So she kind of like told them these awful things and told them these crazy stories about my biological mother. My biological mother told them crazy things about, you know, the woman that raised me. I guess for the sake of the video, I'll say aunt. I hate saying aunt. But so they didn't let my aunt take me, so I had to go with my grandma. So I went with my grandma's side, and this is where this, you know, it's been 14 minutes in, but this is where the story begins, basically. When I moved with my grandma, I had to adjust to a whole nother way of living too. And I got to be around a lot of my cousins. But I had to adjust to my cousins as well, because my cousins lived differently than me, and you know, I had to adjust to that life. But I ended up ultimately, like, I ended up really enjoying the time that I stood at my grandma's. I learned a lot. I'm thankful, because even though it was hard on me and even though I missed my aunt, I was able to kind of like learn different things and live in a different area. So she lived in Boyle Heights, which I was always visiting my grandma, and I would spend the night over there all the time. not all the time, but a lot of, like, you know, within my lifespan. And like when I was a little girl, I remember going over there and being taken over there, and spending time with my cousins. But I never really spent like, I spent like a whole year to almost 2 years living there. So I never, you know, woke up every morning and like helped my grandma, and you know, we had chores, and we had I had so many siblings to like kick it with and like spend time with. And it was just like having like a big, that's okay, that's what I'm trying to get to, is that I was never with a group of children, so I never got to experience having a lot, like it was almost like all brothers and all sisters. So we were all brothers and sisters, and it was like so like it was like so cool to have that, because every day, you know, I would wait for my cousins to get home, you know, little by little. You know, I would have, you know, my one cousin come, my older cousin, my younger cousin, my, you know, some of my cousins that were my same age, and just like all my cousins would meet at my grandma's house, even though some of them lived in other houses, which were like down the block, around the corner, you know, a couple blocks away. So they all like were surrounded living, but all my aunts worked, so all my cousins stood at my grandma's, and I really enjoyed that. But at the same time, you know, I was a little misunderstood living there. I was a little misunderstood by some of my cousins. They didn't understand me, and I maybe, you know, now that I think about it, I was a little different. And we would get in fights, you know, me and my cousins, we would get in little fights here and there, and you know, things would be said, and he should see, she said, and rumors would be spread and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess that's like, whenever there's a big family, you know, now that I think about it, like whenever, like I never held it against any of my cousins, because we're all young, and I guess that happens when you have like a lot of kids and a lot of family, and it's all, you know, bunched up, and things could get misconstrued, and things could get turned around and tossed around, and you know what I mean, like things are not true. Like, you know, one cousin could say that this person did that, and then another cousin could say it to another cousin, and then another cousin could say it to an aunt, and then an aunt's gonna say it to my grandma, and it's gonna get misconstrued. So there was things like that going on, which for me, I was a very sensitive little girl. Like I didn't understand. Like at the moment, it was really hard for me, because I was in a new place and a new space, and adapting, and learning how to live this new life with all these people, and then missing my aunt. And it was just, you know, it was just hard for me. It was just hard for me, like sometimes, you know. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, you know what, I had a good time. Even though sometimes were difficult for me, I had a good time being with those people. You know, there would be times where I would be crying like in the shower, and I would cry, and like they would feel sorry for me, but I didn't want to be felt sorry for. Like it really was just hard. It really was just really hard. And I'm young. Like how do I deal with it? Like I'm young. So my makeup might get a little messed up, but I'm like kind of like cutting off, because I don't want you guys to get like too sad, and I don't want you guys thinking that I'm too sad. Oh, this lady's gonna slam the door. Anyways, so I don't want you guys to get too sad. But it was just, I was a young girl and I was trying to like figure things out in myself, in my head, and where things were gonna go and where I was gonna go after. Like, where was I gonna go after? What was gonna happen? I didn't know. I was so nervous all the time to think what was gonna happen, I remember just getting through it, and honestly I remember being tough. I remember getting tough about it after coming towards the end. I got tough and I got through it, and I came out of it learning a lot and experiencing, like I said, and just, now I look back on it, I'm like, wow, like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, I loved spending time with my cousins. I look at the good times. I don't look at the bad times. And, after about a year, I think it was, I can't remember if it was more than a year, my biological mother got custody back of all of us. And once she got custody back, she told me straight up, she was like, I don't want you. You could go back with your aunt. I just want your little brother and your other brothers, and we just want to go back to how it was before. So you could go, and you could go back with your aunt. And I was like, okay. I was happy. And I went back with my aunt, and she enrolled me in school by her house, and we went back to like the way things were before. It wasn't before too long that things started coming back up again, and she started saying, you have to come over here, calling me back. And it was just going back into the same thing, going back into, her slaving me around, Miss Cinderella. That's what I was. The only thing I remember is that she never hit me again. So she never touched me again. Or did she? She did, but it wasn't like to the point where she would beat me up. It was like to the point where she would like pinch me, pull my hair, or like, do little things like to just like kind of snap me back into reality. Like, sometimes I would kind of like go against her. Like, I kind of developed a tough exterior to where I would like kind of mouth back, because I was getting older, mind you. When I got back home, I was like 11, 12 years old. So I'm already going into a teenager. So I remember, she'd be like, you have to do this. And I'd be like, why? I don't want to. I'm tired. I would just say how I would feel. And, she'd be like, or I'll just probably talk smart to her because I resented her a lot. And, she would like pinch me, or she'd like, kind of like yank my hair. And I would just be like, all right. Like, that wasn't nothing. Like, whatever. Like, I get you. And eventually, when I started to go to school, because I started to like I still wasn't happy in life, she would start taking me out of school again. And little by little, she would take me out of school. Every day it started back up again. And, I just wasn't able to get through school. And I wasn't able to learn. And till this day, she would probably lie and say that I would skip school and stuff like that, but I wasn't like that. I didn't start skipping school until I was like in high school, and that's when I started skipping school. But by then, I really felt like there was a point in my life like where I felt like I wasn't gonna do anything, like I wasn't gonna amount to anything. Like, I probably was just I had just like, I kind of had just like started growing up giving up hope on things and giving up hope on myself and my life, and being very having no self-esteem, having no self-worth. And I feel like now, I feel like my biological mother was molding me to feel like I was never gonna do anything, and I was only gonna go up to where she wanted me to go up to, and that's where I was gonna stay. And now I wish that if I wasn't molded to think that, I feel like I would have started YouTube earlier, and I feel like I would have maybe been bigger at this point, because like my channel would have been bigger by the time I was this age. Like, so if I would have started younger, my channel would have, like, by now I would have been like in the millions, you know what I mean? But then again, I think about it and I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't have the knowledge, and I wouldn't have the coping skills, and I wouldn't have the things that I have now. Like, I wouldn't be as smart as I am now. And I'm like, okay, you know what, God, I'm gonna take it as where it happened, where it needed to happen, and I found this platform when I needed to find this platform. And I just keep myself humble, and I say, you know what, I am where I am now, and even if this channel never grows, I'm staying humble, and I'm saying to myself, even if this channel never grows, and I've said this from the very beginning, even if I remember when I first had 100 subscribers, I was like, you know what, I have 100 subscribers. Even if I stay at 100, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep giving my 100 subscribers, you know, me, and being happy with it and being okay with it. So even if this channel stays where it's at, I'm gonna still be okay with it, and I'm still gonna love the people that are here now. But if it does grow into something bigger, then it's just gonna be awesome, and it's just gonna be like a biggest accomplishment for me in my life, a big accomplishment for me. And I want to be, really, my goal is to where I want to be like the real YouTuber on YouTube. I see a lot of people saying, you know, they're real, whatever, blah blah blah, whoop-de-whoop, but I really do just come on here and just be me, and just say, you know, stories about my life, and just do, you know, little funny things and things like that. But none of it's ever fake, and none of it ever comes from a fake place. It's just my personality, and it's just me, and it always just comes out of here and out of my reality. So I really just kind of want to be the first kind of Latina that has been through something, and that, like, kind of, you know, where I'm from and how I am. And I want to be kind of like the first one to, you know, the first me to be up there. But if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be okay with it, because I'm keeping myself grounded. You know what I mean? With that being said, you know, it kind of just leads up to, I kind of just like skimmed through of where I was living with my grandma and stuff like that. With that being said, I do have some other stories for you going back. One of the big stories that I said before this was the time that I kind of like had got fed up with everything, and then that's when I was taken away, explaining to where, no, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it here, okay? I think you guys might have a question to where, no, you know what, I'm gonna make a second one, because it goes with another story. It's gonna go back, so I'm gonna save it here. I have another story, most definitely. I might be able to do it tomorrow. If not, I might be able to do it next week. So if you guys really like these, you know, something for you to wait on my my next story time. So with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I know it's all over the place, but it's real. And you know, with real stories, it's like you get into the emotions and you get into feelings, and it's unrehearsed. It's not written anywhere. I can't go back and read where it's written. I kind of just like say whatever it is that I have in my memory. So if it is a little all over the place, I'm sorry. I hope you guys understand, and I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys like the story. So like I said, with that being said, I love you guys. Stay chunky, because chunky is beautiful. Many more stories to come, many more stories, but I love you guys. Peace out, and happy National Women's Day. I forgot to say that. Okay, peace out.